guys, welcome back to Crystal J TV. So for this video, I want to share with you guys an article that I was in, actually a magazine article for a really popular magazine, and I have been in magazines in the past, but this was published on December. I'm looking over to my left. Well, you're right, my left, because I'm looking at my laptop, and it was, I believe, the last week of December. I was featured in Reader's Digest. Oh, that's so great. I'm so congratulating myself because I was just really honored when the editor asked me to be featured, and they wanted to use some of my story, and some of my tips on your New Year's resolutions. So it's still New Year, 9 days into it, and it's not too late to write down your New Year's resolutions, guys. And I'm still working on some myself. One of mine is to lose weight. And, you know, everybody has their thing. I have a couple, but that's one of my main ones. So, but the article is called, and I will leave the links down below so you can read the whole article. There's different components. There was the other people that were interviewed. I am in the second or third paragraph down. You will see my article under Be Your Own Greatest Fan. See, that sounds like something I would say, right? Okay, so 13 tricks for keeping your New Year's resolutions from people who actually did. So in the article, I wrote a couple things on some tips on how you can achieve your goals this year. Because, you know, sometimes we say we write down New Year's resolutions, but we never do it. Or we write them down, but we never fulfill them all. Or, you know, we're turning around and it's 11 months in the year and you're like, oh no, I said I was going to do X, Y, Z, but I never did it. Well, this article, these are people who actually did it, which I was one of them who actually did it. And I'll tell you some of the things that I did and that I had set out to do this year, and I actually did it. And so one was I decided to go ahead and pursue my master's degree. So this is the first time you're hearing that on this channel. I never really told you guys that, but yes, I am doing my master's degree in counseling, and I'm halfway through my program. Woo, I have to congratulate myself. Okay, the Bible says to encourage yourself. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm halfway through that program, and I had actually, an article tells you a little bit about that. Well, I had put it off for a long time, like years, like I want to say it's like 10 years. And I'm not exaggerating. It's because every time I would think about it, I would think about the debt that was associated with getting a master's degree, right? And so, as you know, a master's degree can be $20,000, $30,000. And so I was just not going to pay that kind of money. I was just like, is it worth it? But then I kept, you know, when God tells you to do something, you have to do it. As this thing kept nagging at me, and it kept nagging at me every year. And I would just kind of and then I would see other people getting their masters, and I would just feel so bad because I would say to myself, that's supposed to be me. So when you start saying those things to yourself, then you're supposed to do it, because then you don't want to live a life of regret. Get me? You don't want to live a life saying I shoulda, coulda, woulda. You have one life to live, not two, but one. You have one life to live. So when you want to live your life, you want to live it to your fullest potential. So go ahead and do that master's degree. Go ahead and do that bachelor's degree. Go ahead and do, you know, your associates, whatever level you're on. Go ahead and go to training for something you want to do. Go ahead and do it. I don't care if it's sewing. I don't care if it's singing. I don't care if it's music. I don't care if it's drawing. I don't care if it's sports. Whatever it is, go ahead and do it, because, you know, if it's a desire in your heart, it's put there for a reason, right? So this was a desire of my heart. This wasn't like, oh, I'm copying anyone. This was like, I wanted to do this for me because I knew what God wanted me to do. This is what he wanted me to do. He said he wanted me to take these kind of courses, and I did it. I'm doing it. I'm doing what he's telling me to do. Right? Okay. The next things that I had, two things that I had, was one of my goals were I wanted to compete in pageants, because when I was younger, I used to compete in the Miss America pageant system. And I actually, I never really I got into it and I was doing a lot of them like the last 2 years of my teens, like my 17 and 18 years old. And I was doing a lot of local pageants and I really loved them so much, and you eventually you graduate from school and you kind of just drift away from those things because now you're becoming, you're older, you're gonna, I got married, had kids and everything, life, sets in. And so I decided, you know what, this is something that I've always wanted to do. It's part of me. Pageantry will always be part of me just because it's just been a part of me from the time I was a teen when I was introduced to it by one of my acting coaches. She was like, you need to do pageants. I see you in, she just said, Sam, I see you on stage. I see you in pageants. I see you singing. I see you, all these things. And so that's what sparked it because of what she saw in me. And I also saw that in myself, but it takes sometimes it takes somebody else to see what's on the inside.